Just as a point of emphasis when it comes to the nomination of school board officers, after talking with our lawyers, remember you can only nominate one person, and that person is then we have a second and we have a discussion on that person. And during that discussion, you can ask that person questions. You can mention you were going to nominate somebody else might not say they were going to nominate somebody else or whatever, but you can only have one nomination on the floor at a time. Okay? Do we have any nominations for school board chair? Jamie?
I make a motion that we nominate Holly Morris for school board chair.
Do we have a second? Second was Tammy. Okay, discussion. So that means you can ask Holly questions, like does she want to be the chair? What she's going to do as chair. You guys can also ask questions. Is there anybody else that was going to be, you were going to nominate somebody else? That's all part of the discussion process. So if you have anything you want to say, raise your hand and I will call on you. Andrew?
First of all, Holly, would you accept the nomination, and what would you bring to the table that you think would make you a good chair for the coming year?
If you guys would have me as chair, I would accept the nomination. As far as what I would like to accomplish as chair, I think more communication as a board. I like the way we've got everybody seated tonight. I think in the past we've kind of played one side against the other. I don't want to see that. I want us to come together as a board, discuss things, have more communication, transparency, more interaction with community, more interaction with parents, teachers, students. I just want to be more open and have a successful board.
I did first. Yes. Okay. I'd like to. Do I hold it the whole time? All right. I'd like to nominate Dawn Emery.
Andrew?
Don, I'll put the same question to you as I did Holly to make it fair. Would you accept the nomination, and what do you think you would bring to the office? Did you hear me?
I think I did, yeah. I would accept the nomination. What would I bring? I think you've already seen. I want to be fair. I want to make sure that all sides are heard. I agree with Holly. I think communication is huge, and we've been through a tumultuous time, and I agree bringing the board together for the good of the district, for the good of the students, most of all. That's where I'm at. Thank you.
Does anybody else have any questions or comments? This is your opportunity. Seeing none, can we do roll call, please?
First one's for Holly. Matthew Brent.
Yes or no for Hall?
No.
Becky Bryant. Yes. Tanya Mello.
Yes.
Dawn Emery.
No.
Amy Ferrari. Yes. Mara Hope.
No.
Sarah Jameson.
No.
Holly Morris.
Yes.
Avery Ryder. No. Dawn Stroud.
Yes.
And
Yes.
Passes 6-5. Holly, come on up, because you will be running the meeting and getting ready to get a vice chair.
Hey, good evening, everybody. Does anyone have nominations for vice chair? Dawn?
I'd like to nominate Michelle Moffett.
Michelle Moffett. Michelle's not here, but I don't think that that is an issue. I do have a letter from her stating that she would accept the nomination. Sorry. Anybody second? Now we have a second. Now we have discussion. So she would accept the nomination. So anyone have any discussion? Yes.
I'd like to know if Dawn Emery is interested in being vice chair?
I would serve at the board's pleasure.
Any other discussion? Dawn?
I think with Michelle's background in education, she would be a good choice for vice chair.
I agree with that, Dawn. Andrew?
During the past year, my seat's been assigned next to Michelle quite often, so I've got to know her a little bit better. I know she does her homework, she's engaged, she asks good questions, and expects good answers. She takes a educated or quiet role. She doesn't seem to advocate for any particular side. She wants the best for our district, from what I've seen from her performance.
Thank you, Andrew. I agree. She does seem to have a lot of knowledge, a lot of education on the education side of things, has children in the district. I think she would do well. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Andrew Sylvester,
Yes.
Dawn Stroud,
Yes.
Avery Ryder,
No.
Holly Morris,
Yes.
Sarah Jameson,
Yes.
Mara Hope,
No.
Tammy Ferrari. Yes. Dawn Emery,
Yes.
Tony DeMello,
Yes.
Kathy Bryant,
Yes.
and Matt Brennan.
No.
Okay, so Michelle Moffett will be our vice chair. Thank you, everybody. This is my first time running a meeting, so bear with me.
No, you first.
Laura, are we all set with attendance? Okay. There's no, any adjustments? Okay. Approval of the minutes for the February 26th meeting. Can I group this into one or not? Okay. So
And the reason we're doing this one, for some reason, with all the meetings that we had shoved together, we had those double meetings in a row, we skipped approval of the minutes. Not that we changed anything with the minutes, but, so in order to do that and post them officially, we need to make sure that we vote for them. So there'll be a few people that will probably need to abstain tonight because you weren't on the board at the time, so.
We can just do hands.
That's your job.
Oh, that's my job. All those in favor?
Laura, we're trying to bring you into
I really like to include you, Laura.
I'm good.
All those in favor? All those opposed? Any abstentions?
Okay.
The pass, thanks. The next one is the school board minutes for April 9th.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion?
So, I do have to say, when you guys do that, can you say your name instead of just saying who, because I can't, where I'm sitting, I can't see who. That would be great. So who moved that?
So moved by Dawn and second by Tam.
Okay, thank you.
Any discussion? Roll call. Or all those in favor? No roll calls. All those opposed? Those who abstain? Thank you. So, retirement notification from Diane Fendelson, the music teacher at Spruce Mountain High School. Retirement. Can I get a motion to accept her retirement?
So moved. Dawn.
Dawn Emery.
Emery.
Second, Tanya Mello. With sadness.
Yes. Yeah, discussion.
This is going to be big shoes to fill. I am very, very sad to see this. She is an amazing lady. She had my grandson on the golf team, and I just don't have enough good to say about her, so this is a huge, huge loss to our district. I wish her well in her retirement, though.
Anyone else for discussion? I would like to say too, my granddaughter is a freshman. She was interested in the Rock of Ages, and it's sad to see Diane leave. Hoping that we can fill her shoes, but they're huge shoes to fill. So, all those in favor? All those opposed? Passes. Resignation from Heather Hyatt, social worker at the Spruce Mountain Primary School, effective June 15th. So moved by Tanya, seconded by Dawn. Any discussion? All those in favor? All those opposed? Pass. Resignation from Shane Edwards, teacher at the Spruce Mountain High School, effective June 15th.
Second.
Don Strout, Don Emery. All those in favor? Aye. Resignation from Aaron Casey, third grade teacher at the Spruce Mountain Elementary School, effective June 15th.
So moved. Dawn Emery.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Jessica Ellingwood and Kim Bryant are going to do a presentation of the high school Spain trip and requesting permission for the international travel for April 2028.
Hi, I'm Jessica Ellingwood, and Kim Bryant was our group leader in Spain for April 2026, and we have a little highlight of some of our adventures, and here we go. Kim, I feel like you should be at the mic.
I probably should be.
Yes, and I will be your, we'll switch
And then we'll
roles here.
switch,
We'll
yes.
switch, okay.
We totally have this coordinated. So the good news is, we're back,
and we made it all alive and they're very good. So that's always a bonus, right? So we just got back from Spain over April vacation. Our journey at a glance, we had 27 students, 5 chaperones, didn't include me, 14 adults. We raised $13,500 in 2 years of fundraising. We visited 5 major cities. We explored thousands and thousands of years of history. We made countless memories, and we walked a lot, up to more than 10 miles on some days. And most importantly, not a single student or adult missed a single meeting time in an entire 8 days. That is like a miracle. That is no tardies. That's so good. So our first stop was Barcelona. Students experienced the big sights, and they're up there so you can sort of see those. Students also had some independent exploration time, and some students did different things. So some rode the cable cars above the city, maybe went shopping to a museum, and they got to practice navigating on their own in a city they've never been to. And I know that may sound scary, but they have a lot of guidance. And they also completed a scavenger hunt where they were literally given a map and clues and had to find their way around a very confined and safe area. But for many of them, that was the first time they've navigated not ever using a phone. So that was like terrifying and so exciting for them. When we talk about like not being late, they're given free time to eat or shop or whatever, and then they need to be back at a designated point at a specific time. And all of them were there on time and found where they needed to go. So it was very, very good. In Madrid, which was the second large city we went to, students got to see the palace. The palace actually was occupied by the royal family, so we didn't get to go inside. Instead, we actually went to a museum of fashion and costume, which was fantastic as well. We saw some of the most famous artwork in the world at the Museo del Prado. And we also visited the kind of major cathedral in Spain. Students participated in guided walking tours, bus tours, art and history discussions, and other cultural exploration. They saw artwork and architecture that's definitely older than our entire country, and that's like an amazing thing to think about for students. Like, this stuff is more than 800 years old, and we're celebrating our 250th as a nation, which is just hard to imagine. And some of these pictures go back. I also do want to, so we do have some of the boys at the Real Madrid soccer game that chaperones and some students went to. That was completely optional and mostly arranged by Mark Keller. And that was like a real once-in-a-lifetime thing for those kids, and a fantastic time. The rest of us like went to McDonald's and Burger King, which was equally exciting, but you know. Okay. We also went to Toledo, which is an extremely ancient medieval city. It is over 800 years old. The church there was celebrating its 800th birthday. We saw one of the most famous artworks by El Greco, which is absolutely amazing. And we learned a lot about Spain's religious and cultural history. And a lot of people bought a lot of stuff in the gift shop there because they have this amazing Damascene steel, which is absolutely beautiful and really cool, and it was very popular. Students got to try new things, so they ate some stuff like paella and churros and cured meats and went to local cafes and restaurants. They also learned how to flamenco dance from professionals, and I could not believe every single student participated in the flamenco dancing and were amazing. They all dressed up and looked fantastic. And then afterwards we got to see a performance by the same people who had taught us, so that was like really nice, and they got to experience Spanish music and culture firsthand. And some of them ate foods that they will certainly never eat again, and never imagined they would eat. We had some picky eaters, but most of them tried something new over the trip, so it was awesome. Students demonstrated responsibility, respect, kindness, independence, and time management. We talked about everybody arriving at home, at where they needed to be every day, but this also includes in the morning, like when we have to leave at like 7 a.m. They're all up at breakfast, ready to go, and on the bus. That's like crazy. We had some students that were homesick, had never been away from home, and they handled that really maturely and understood, like, this is something that I'm feeling and I will get over it, and things are not bad. I am just missing my usual routine. They learned how to be good roommates, which is really important, and some of them have never done before. How to travel responsibly, how to adjust to unfamiliar situations, and how to support one another when they were feeling not well or having a hard time doing that 12 miles of walking. And they did a really good job helping each other out. Our students got lots of compliments, and that, I think, is one of the best things about taking these groups on these tours. As the tour leader, when we visit a place and we have a tour guide, those tour guides come to me and say, congratulations, because your kids are fantastic. They are kind, they are respectful, they listen and pay attention and are fun, and you are so lucky to have this group. And it's not, like, this group was fantastic, but all of our kids are fantastic, and we definitely let them know that they are representing our school and our state and our families, and they take that to heart, and they just have wonderful attitudes and so well behaved, and just never any issues. They're fantastic. This is our bus driver, Daniel, and our tour director, Miguel, and it says who may now be honorary Phoenixes. Miguel, when he is not doing tours, is a mural painter, and we have invited him. We're like, you come to Maine, you come, we'll put you up and you can stay and you can do a mural at the school. He is like incredibly talented. So that's why he gets to be an honorary Phoenix. I don't think Daniel can paint, so he's on his own, I guess. So obviously they learn lessons that can't be taught in a classroom, right? So history through experience, art through immersion, geography through navigation, communication through necessity, and that is an important one, and confidence through independence. And you can see their attitudes and their demeanor at the beginning of the trip and at the end of the trip are completely different. They have become confident travelers, and they just have a much better sense of themselves in the world. They also learned that home is pretty special too, because when you're away for 8 days, you are used to things a certain way. When you get back, you are very excited. And as we rounded the corner by the school sign to come up the hill, there was like a huge cheer after traveling all day. And I said, it's probably the only time that they have ever cheered when getting to school, but they were very happy to return home. So we would like to, I think this is my thank you slide next. Oh, no, why travel? I just told you all the reasons we should travel. You don't need it. These are experiences students will have forever, and they're still talking about it. They'll talk about it their whole lives. Do want to thank the school board for obviously allowing us to take these trips, most especially the families for supporting their students. We definitely have families that make a lot of sacrifices to be able to send their kids on these trips, knowing how valuable the experience is, and some of those families not able to offer them that experience themselves. Thanks to my chaperones, I have fantastic chaperones for this trip. For all of the people who supported all of our fundraisers, and people who just support kids traveling in general, and then also to our students for being so wonderful. And you can see the students all lined up in front of our bus on our way there saying goodbye to their parents. It's just a very, very special thing to do these trips. So with that, this was my last trip. I am retiring as the trip leader. I still will travel for sure, but I'm not going to take 49 people with me every time I go. But I have a wonderful colleague who is ready to take over for that. So Jessica has been on the last 2 trips with me because I knew that this day would come, and I was like, this would be a great way to transition. So I'm going to now transition to Jessica. We're going to switch places real quickly.
Transition to me, and I think when I was watching that, I was a little emotional because I know, I'm a long ways from high school, but my family made that sacrifice so I could go to Germany when I was in high school, and since then I've traveled internationally and domestically, and that wasn't something that my family would have known how to do at that time, and so I'm excited that I can offer that to our Spruce Mountain High School students, and like Kim said, I've traveled to Scotland and Ireland and England and Wales in 2026, and then in Spain in 2028, and we've had fabulous students, and there's been trying moments, and we work through them, and everyone is safe and happy in the end, and they're lifelong memories for these students, and I think confidence that just can't come from anywhere else other than experiencing it. So for 2028, and this has kind of been a tradition, minus COVID, where every 2 years there'd be an international trip through in RSU73 and Jay coming together at Spruce Mountain. And so for 2028, I propose that we would go to Costa Rica. And I know that it's different because it's currently always been in Europe. And so I am a math teacher here at the high school, and science and math is a little bit more, up my alley, other than humanities is very important also. And Costa Rica just offers some biodiversity and sustainability and a culture of peace. And I think about the last 2 trips, and when we were hiking in Wales, we went on this beautiful sunset hike. And when we were in Spain, some students got to swim in the Mediterranean Sea. And I get excited when I see a new bird and I see a new tree. And our students see that too. And they were like, wow, the water tastes so good here in Maine. That was one of the things they missed about Maine. So, and also we do offer Spanish here, of course. And so it was nice that some students got to practice that in Spain. And of course in Costa Rica, that is also the language. The trip we're proposing is 9 days. It's 8 nights in a hotel. As you can see, we will be on the East Coast in the Caribbean Sea, and then ending on the West Coast, which is the Pacific Ocean. And that's one of the reasons I chose Costa Rica. How amazing that you can see 2 bodies of water in the same trip. And I just chose day 1 because I think if I did all of the days, we would be here all night, and no one wants that. But just in the special area of Tortuguero, the national park, this is the largest breeding ground for green sea turtles in the Western Hemisphere. There's 11 different habitats between the wetlands, the lagoons, and I just think how amazing. And I do have some science teachers that also think this could be quite an incredible experience to go and see, and I'm sure we will not see all 100 of the 442 birds, but if I saw 40, I'd be pretty happy. If I saw 4, and so there we are. And so I'm sure there'll be questions. I'll try to answer what I can. We always use EF. They're like the #1 travel company for international travel. As soon as we land in Costa Rica, we will have a guide. Like we had Miguel in Spain. He can speak 5 foreign languages. He's from Portugal. These guides are not just someone off the street. They are extremely well educated. Miguel has a law degree. We will not have Miguel in Costa Rica, but when we had Rosie in Scotland, it's similar. This is very safe and so well educated guides. There is 6 students per 1 Spruce Mountain chaperone, And we will continue to invite family and parents. We had aunts, we had grandparents, we had moms, we've had uncles, like just family that travels, and for some students that makes them feel much more comfortable. In the trip, it's our round trip flight to Costa Rica. We have our private motor coach, which is just for us to travel to those different locations like you saw. Hotels, students room together, usually 2 or 3 in a room by gender, private bathrooms, and breakfast and dinner is provided. And then they're usually for lunch on their own. And all of our activities, I will tell you some of the activities are we're gonna have a boat ride in Tortuguero, there is snorkeling, there is hiking in Arsenal near a volcano where we can see the crater and overlook the Pacific lowlands, and zip lining in a canopy over the forest, and all of this would be included. And I think when we talk about confidence and being a little uncomfortable, this might be that trip. We might even see some seagulls, Avery. Just kidding. Okay. And so I think, something to think about is safety. And so Costa Rica is, a little close there, rated the same as Germany and France and the United Kingdom and Spain. And the places that we have been to, the major crime there is petty crime, like pickpocketing, which was something we were very aware of also in Spain when you're in a tourist area. And ecotourism is huge in Costa Rica. With that being said, sunscreen for our little native skin in April, and bug spray. And also April is one of the driest months in Costa Rica, so there will be some bugs, but there will be less than there could be if we went during the wet season. Passports, we make copies, families have copies. It's a well-run machine, I would say. Like Kim mentioned before, we don't take lightly that this is a huge amount of money for some of these families to come up with, like a lot, and the sacrifices they make. I know, I appreciate that greatly, and the fact that $13,500 was raised is amazing, and I think we can do that again. We sell mums and poinsettias through Longfellows. We've done calendar raffles, and also I think a great thing is that we have 2 years, so birthdays, holidays and whatnot, kids can put their money away, and even on the EF site, people can donate to their fund. So that is the end of my spiel, and if you have any questions, happy to try to answer. Yes, Tammy.
How are they chosen, or can anybody go?
Yeah, that's a great question. So it's open to all juniors and seniors, so anyone who fits that category of a junior and senior. I think that's always been try to take the upperclassmen, and we go every 2 years. That means by the time you're a junior or senior, you have a chance to go on the international trip.
That's
and
great.
Families are welcome to go. And Kim, please.
I do want to clarify that this is not a fundraising to pay your way to go. There was no way we could ever do a trip if we promised that, because that amount of money, that ridiculous amount of money would pay for 3 students, which we would not be able to do a trip. So, and that was 30 students raising money for 2 years to get that amount. So parents have to have the wherewithal to be able to pay for the trip, and that fundraising takes some of that money out and pays for tips and extra things that we do not want to have to add on to their already trip. So we try to make it as affordable as we can, but we don't want people to think they're going to be able to go for free, because it just doesn't happen. I wish we could do that, but they would have to start raising money in kindergarten, which would not a bad idea, I don't think, but.
Yeah, thank you, Kim. And EF does offer a financial plan with 0 interest, so if parents choose it, there's monthly payments. I understand it's a sacrifice, and unfortunately we can't take everyone, but for those who are able to find the way, and juniors and seniors, as we know, they do have cars and access to jobs, and if it's a choice they make, it's a choice they can make. So juniors and seniors, to answer your question. Thank you, Tammy.
Great. I'm interested in that because my daughter in 8th grade went on the People to People ambassadorship program.
Oh, yeah.
And went to Europe for 3 weeks, and
Wonderful.
she had just gotten out of 8th grade when she went in summer, and She got to make one phone call home in that 3-week period, and she was staying with a host family for 3 days in Denmark. And she called me, and they only had a short time to talk. And all she talked about was digging potatoes out of the garden and getting sausage for supper. and the thatched roofed houses there.
Wow, sounds
But
amazing.
she had a great time doing that.
Yes, Mr. Sylvester? Oh, sorry.
I'm glad you had a very good trip to Spain. These are the kind of events that kids remember forever and their families, and I'm very glad you got so many to go. Costa Rica seems like a different kind of location that's not ordinarily on most people's travel list, but I've known people in 4-H, and they have some international projects down there, and they love it down there. So I think you've made a good choice.
Oh, thank you. I'm excited, and I was hoping that others might be as well, but yeah, thank you.
Go ahead, Don.
Hey, Kim, I just wanted to thank you for your dedication to this. Just awesome. So hats off to you. Thank you for taking over. That's wonderful. I'm glad that we have people that really know what they're doing when it comes to this, so we can entrust our kids with you. And I just have something. I'm a little bit of a foodie, and so you mentioned that some of the students over in Spain tried some foods that they never thought they would try. Can you give us an idea? I mean, were they eating snail? What were they eating?
I'm trying to think.
Escargot.
Did they do?
Octopus.
An octopus?
Oh, nice.
And paella is not like that exotic,
Right.
but they did eat it. I will say that I ate glass eels for the first time
Oh, wow.
because even though they're like sourced in Maine, like I have never seen one on a menu ever in my life, and they had glass eel croquetas in Spain, and I ate one. I would not order it again, but I
The
ate it.
market in Barcelona was gorgeous. Just the
Oh my
food
God.
and the meats and the fruit and the spice. Yeah, going through there was really great experience for the kids at the
I
Barcelona
will
market.
say that, like, I think the gelato places made a lot of money. There were a lot of gelato eaters for lunch, but you know, it's cheap and it
Delicious.
is really good, and it will fill you up.
Thanks.
Any other questions? Okay, at this time, I would accept the motion to accept the trip, the request for the trip to Costa Rica in April of 2028.
So moved. Don Emery.
Second. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Unanimous.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, Mark Keller, you're up. No?
Nope.
They changed again. Chris Duca, thank
High
you.
schoolers, they like to,
We like to switch.
Thank you, everyone. My name's Chris Duca. I'm a high school special educator as well as the outdoor club advisor. So I'm here to propose this summer's canoe trip to Rangeley from July 26th to the 31st for a total of 10 students and 3 adults. This trip is going to be led by 2 Teens to Trails certified Maine guides, Dave Butler and Jill McMahon, as well as a high school chaperone. Let's see here. So this trip is designed to give students an opportunity to practice teamwork, build responsibility and confidence, and learn leadership skills through the mechanism of outdoor education. This experience would allow students to practice these skills while learning about water safety in a structured environment. This trip would also create a meaningful experience that many of the students may not otherwise have access to. The itinerary spread over 5 days, paddling on average between 5 to 6 miles a day, starting at the Rangeley Town Park boat launch and ending at the South Arm on Lower Lake Richardson, or Richardson Lake, excuse me. Each night, the students are going to stay at a different monitored campsite with their guides and practice preparing and cleaning up their own meals. The fees are totally covered by Maine Teens to Trails. And if any gear is needed by any of the students, it can be provided through the program Maine Gear Share. So this is a fully funded program. So in closing, I just believe this program would provide a lasting educational and personal benefit for a lot of our students and continue to represent our school community in a positive way. We've done this trip in the past and hope we can continue to do it again. So, any questions? Yeah.
Usually how many kids go?
This year, we're going to cap it at 10 because this is a Maine Teens to Trails trip. They're going to be leading it primarily. Typically, I think in the past, Mr. Keller, you can correct me if I'm wrong, we've had upwards of about 15 students.
Yeah, anywhere from 14 to 17 in years past.
Yeah. So they just asked that we cap it at 10 this year. Yep. Any other questions?
And this is a different trip than the one that they usually do in Jackman? It's a
Correct,
different
yes.
location.
Yeah. This
Same
time, this is fully run by Maine Teens to Trails. They offered it this year and said, hey, would you guys be interested? And jumped at it because they are just a really well-oiled machine. I really like supporting them. So,
Thank you, Chris.
you got it.
So at this time, I'd like to have a motion to accept the trip in Rangeley for the outdoor club.
So move, Don Emery. Sorry. I apologize.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Unanimous. Thank you. Chris Target.
Good evening. So first of all, it's not an overnight trip I'm asking for. It's just a day trip down to Boston. So we can change that on the agenda there. So basically, it's the 8th grade end of the year trip. We take the train from the Amtrak train from Brunswick, take it down to Boston North Station. Then we walk over to the Boston Museum of Science, where the students get to explore there until about 3:30. And then we take the train back and arrive back in Brunswick at about 7 o'clock. And the students are home at 9 o'clock at night. So it's a trip that we've been doing for the last few years, except for last year. We ended up doing the Red Sox and the Science stay over there instead. So.
Any questions for Chris? Okay.
Do the students earn this in some way through good behavior, or what does everybody go?
Everybody's welcome to go unless the students have been suspended during the 3rd trimester or are actually failing significantly or have not attended school regularly. So,
Tammy?
Is there a cost for them to go?
no cost.
No cost.
Matter of fact, we through our fundraising and stuff, this year we were able to give each child $20 for their lunch when they get down there, because there's a bunch of different varieties for them to eat. And so,
Any other questions? Okay, at this time, I'd like to ask for a motion to accept the request for the day trip to Boston for the 8th grade middle school students.
So moved.
Yes. All those in favor? Unanimous. Okay, at this time, we will have public comment. Linda Dean?
Good evening. I'm Linda Dean from Livermore. I want to welcome the newly elected school board members and recognize those continuing to serve. I appreciate anyone willing to step forward for our students, staff, families, and community. I hope this board will move forward remembering that a school board seat is a position of public trust. The work of this board should be guided by the needs of our students not by outside agendas, personal ideology, fear-based messaging, or pressure from organizations that do not live with the consequences of the decisions made here. School board members have a responsibility to follow ethical standards, respect the law, listen to the community, and above all, protect the well-being of every student in this district. This board has serious work ahead. One of the biggest issues facing our district is absenteeism. When students are missing school, we need to ask why and look beyond blame and towards real solutions. Some families are struggling and some students feel disconnected, unsafe, unsupported, or unheard. Others may be dealing with anxiety, bullying, poverty, or challenges at home. Bullying is also part of this conversation. Students who feel targeted, isolated, or unsafe are less likely to attend and less able to learn. The board has a responsibility to make sure its policies reduce the risk of bullying, not increase it. Every student deserves dignity and safety. And if we want students to come to school, we have to give them a school worth coming to, with the tools, supplies, programs, activities, library time, teachers, support staff, and resources they all need. School has to be a place where students feel they belong, where they are welcome when they walk through the doors, and where every child has at least one trusted adult where decisions bring students in, not push them away. Students learn better when they feel safe. They attend more often when they feel connected, and they succeed when they know they matter. Like many rural communities, our area faces challenges attracting new jobs and investment. But one of the strongest things we can offer is an excellent public school system. Strong schools help keep families here, attract new families, support local businesses, and show employers this is a community worth investing in. So my hope for this board is simple. Stay focused on students, all students. Make decisions based on facts, fairness, law, and compassion. Our students deserve a board that leads with integrity, builds trust, and gives every student a fair chance to learn, grow, and thrive. Thank you.
Thank you, Linda. Okay, next we have student representatives. Mason.
I'd like to give the board an update on athletics and a couple other things going on here at the high school. Track had a meet yesterday at Telstar. Congratulations to Kai Dor for breaking the school record in long jump in his first year running track, and congratulations to Linda Lake for beating her own record of 800. Girls softball had a successful win against Halldale yesterday. Softball and baseball have a home game tomorrow against Monmouth. And the Spruce Mountain High School Band had a wonderful concert this past Tuesday here in the gym, here in the cafeteria, and there was some wonderful displays set up in the gym from our digital media group and art.
Thank you, Mason. Board comments. Andrew.
As a veteran board member, I'd like to welcome back the previous board members I've served with and extend a welcome to the newly elected representatives. It's a great responsibility. We all have a part, and I look forward to working with all of you. Congratulations on your elections, and let's have a good year.
Thank you, Andrew. Tanya?
I want to congratulate Mr. Mason for getting Foster Tech Student of the Year. Very well done, sir. Proud of you.
That's awesome.
Anyone else? I'd like to say Tanya and I were at the honors banquet, and we want to congratulate all of the students that received honors, and it was a very well done meal and a very well done program, and Mason shined there as well. So congratulations to all of them. All right, now we are going to hear from our superintendent, Scott Elbert.
Good evening. As I had stated in the main Monitor article, I wanted to thank the citizens of Jay, Livermore, and Livermore Falls for putting kids first and improving our school budget during these difficult financial times. It is truly appreciated. I also attended the Senior Honors Banquet. It was a great night celebrating our best and brightest seniors and their accomplishments. Our cafeteria workers put out an excellent meal that night. As you can see, I like to eat. So, I had the opportunity to read to a pre-K and a kindergarten class since our last board meeting. I also attended the Western Maine Superintendent's meeting where we discussed budget concerns that everyone in the state is experiencing. I was able to chair the Western Maine Recertification Committee where we approved an initial recertification plan for an area administrator. And I also attended the Western Maine Steering Committee meeting where we approved recertification for 20 administrators in the Western Maine area.
Any questions for Scott? Thank you, Scott. Next up is TJ Plord.
Good evening, everyone. I'm going to go through the enrollment. I have some bulleted things here. Enrollment is 408. Our attendance has gone down a little bit, 10.4%. And for disciplinary stats, is some of the things that you guys do need to have. Phone-related detentions, 28 of them since the last, from when we started doing this. Sent from class detentions is about 15 right now, which didn't go up much at all either. Phone suspensions, that's 8. That didn't go up from the last time. We haven't suspended any for phone detention, for phone issues. Other suspensions, we had 12. I think that added 4. And in-school suspensions, we had 10. We added quite a few more of those. Those usually have to do with kids trying to skip out of school or leaving school grounds, and we don't want them to leave, so we give them in-school suspensions. NUIAs are on, almost done. I think this is our last week. Actually, we have until next week, but they'll be done this week. That same thing with our main through year, which is only for our sophomore students. That has been completed. Our prom, I got to tell you, prom was a huge success. We had it over at the back, what is it called? Boondocks. Yeah, it's over in the Boondocks in Canton. It was a nice event. I have to tell you, the people that own and run the place said that our prom was the best prom they have ever had. And they've been doing it for quite a few years now. Kids had a very nice night. We even had some horses there. Kids were able to take some selfies with some horses. They really enjoyed that, but it was a good night. No issues. I'm going to tell you, no issues, and it was a really nice night. Yeah, I do want to say thank you for coming to the honors banquet. It means a lot when our board takes some time out of their night to come in for a honors banquet. We also have quite a few more happening here pretty soon. So I hope to see you there. And I have sent, if you look on our website, we have a ton of events that are coming, final events for us. We also had an 8th grade parent night on Monday this past week for our new students coming in. It was very well attended. I took the people on a little tour of the building, and it's so nice to see parents wanting to be in here and seeing what we have to offer. And it was really cool. I brought them down to the shop wing, and our shop teacher, Danny Latham, was already in there, and this was at 7 o'clock at night, and he was already working, you know, so we have people that are very dedicated, and I just want to point that out to everybody. One other thing that I have is Fine Arts Night. Thank you, Mason, for bringing that up. It is it's a hard thing to see a woman like Diane Fenelson do her last show for band. However, she has another one coming up for Rock of Ages. So if you have a chance, it's on History Night. If you come to here on History Night, it is not this week, next week, right? Next Friday. So come on in. What's that? Yes, yes, yes. So come on in, have some fun with us. We have a good time. And the following day after that, Danny Latham is doing a car show right out back here. We invite a bunch of people with some cars, and they do a raffle. They raise a little money for their programs. It's a great night, great night. So please come in, have a good time. All right? That's all I have.
Any questions for TJ?
Yes.
Just a quick question. When is actual graduation?
The 7th.
7th.
Yep, Sunday the 7th at 1 p.m. I have not made a decision if it's outside or inside yet. Yeah, so. I don't want to be outside in the rain again. So it's if I have the smallest amount of rain in the forecast, it's going to be inside. So I do want to give our kids a little shot of maybe having it outside. So, all right. Thank you.
Any other questions? Thank you, TJ.
Yep.
Oh.
Community Service Day. It is next Wednesday. We do have a bunch of things going on that day. We're going to be over at the ski slope. We're going to be down into town. We're going to be painting here at the school. We're going to be out around the school. Rob Taylor is having a bunch of advisory programs that are going to be out doing the trails up behind the school and down at French Falls, Pine Island. We're all over the place on that day. So if you see us, give us a toot as you're driving by. Give our kids a little cheer up. So it'd be good. All right?
Thank you. Darcy.
Good evening and welcome to new board members for this evening. Our enrollment, currently we have 318 students. Year to date, just a quick behavior report out, we have 507 minor office referrals, 434 majors. Spring assessments are coming up. We have begun the home stretch for those. We have a lot in the primary school. We decided to hold off on some of those digital ones to the end of the year so we can get as much instruction in as possible. So for the next board meeting, and hopefully I'll share out some of that data. June 4th is our spring concert. It's during the day. Parents come and kind of like do they filter out for each grade level. June 10th is going to be our field day. That's one of our favorite days. We had an overwhelming response for parent volunteers, which kind of melted our hearts. We're going to think about how we can do this a little bit better because it does cost us money to do the background checks, and we kind of have to make sure we're also thinking diligently about that. But if we have that many parents that want to be in our schools, we don't want to turn them away either. So we got to figure that piece out. But we're really thinking about that for next year. At my last board report, I made a few waves. So I just want to clarify some things. We want to ensure that the community understands that another recent article was interpreted by some in a way that was never intended. The purpose of the article was to recognize and celebrate the incredible efforts of the staff at Spruce Mountain Primary School, especially during Teacher Appreciation Week. Not to criticize or shame parents in any way. When I emailed her about setting up a time to talk, it was to educate the community on all the ways we are increasing attendance and decreasing behavior. That's specifically what I said in the email. The only thing to note about bullying was that because parents aren't reaching out to me as the administrator about this, we can't link bullying to students not wanting to be at school. In fact, I got to share a quick story because this week I was meeting with kids during lunch who got perfect attendance. And I asked them all, I said, you guys must be ready and excited for summer vacation. And every single one of them said, no, we want to be here. We wish school was year round. So that right there tells you the culture of our building, right? Our staff go above and beyond to love and care for these kids, and it just melted my heart. And it's because of the staff who make these kids feel welcomed, loved, safe, and at home. When I walk into classrooms, it's like a little family. And yes, sometimes fighting like brothers and sisters, because after all, they are with each other 5 days a week, 7 hours a day in the same room. During our conversation with the news article person, we discussed that many ways staff members go above and beyond each day to support students and help meet their basic needs so they are better able to access their education. Research shows that students are more successful when their foundational needs, such as food, clothing, hygiene, and emotional support, are met. And in some situations, and always with family permission and collaboration, we help provide these supports through grants and donations. Staff support each other during difficult times when there's power outages or water issues. This is simply part of our culture of care and support we strive to provide every day, and we believe those efforts deserve recognition. The love and nurturing that the staff at the primary school exhibit for all children should be celebrated, not discouraged. The article is also intended to highlight and educate parents on many academic and behavioral supports available at the primary school, and a lot of that information was completely left out. So if the article came across as blaming or criticizing parents, that was absolutely not our intention, nor is how we want our community to feel. I also noticed the word accountability mentioned. Accountability is an important part of my role and applies to students, staff, and parents alike. And when we share data regarding attendance and behavior, which is what you guys ask for, it's hard to hear that 5 to 7% of students are struggling with consistent attendance and behavioral support follow through with parents. However, these concerns are real, documented through daily phone calls, emails, and communication. It's fact. We literally have to write it in Power School, the reason why they called them out. Our goal is not to place blame, but to raise awareness about challenges schools across the country are facing regarding attendance, behavior, and family support needs. For students with significant behavioral challenges, we often encourage families to seek outside support services because there are limits to what we can alone provide. When a child becomes aggressive, staff are required to follow safety care techniques and provide students with that safety. We take those responsibilities seriously and follow those required procedures at all times. We remain committed to partnering with families in the community to support every child's success in a caring, respectful, and supportive environment. And we are grateful to all the parents for their dedication they show each day in supporting their child's education and reinforcing the importance of learning. By encouraging strong work habits, such as arriving on time, completing assignments, and showing respect for others, families help prepare students to become successful, hardworking individuals, and hopefully the future leaders of our 3 towns.
Any questions for Darcy? Tanya?
Not a question, but a comment. I appreciated you coming to the board with that information because we can't fix things or help fix things, I'm not sure what the answer is, if we don't know about it. So I did really appreciate it, and I did not get that you were laying all the blame on the parents. I mean, I feel like this is such a multifaceted problem, but I do hope that we can maybe help in some way. I'm not sure how, but I appreciated the honesty.
Any other questions for Dr.? I just have a comment, basically the same as Tanya. I thank you for your honesty, and I hope that we can help and maybe, work together in trying to solve some of the attendance problems. Like I hear from Tanya, it is a multifaceted problem, and it will take a lot of brainstorming probably to get some solutions, but hopefully we can work together and work towards that.
And it's not a crisis, like I said, right? It's just, how can we get the 5%? We're talking 5%.
Right.
To collaborate with us. Right.
Okay, thank you, Dr.
You're welcome.
Chris Carter.
All right. So currently, the middle school has an enrollment of 267, and our year-to-date daily attendance average is still holding strong at 94%. On April 16th and 17th, our 6th grade students visited the Gulf of Maine Research Institute and learned about Maine marine and oceanic life. On April 16th, our 8th grade students did some volunteer raking for some local community members. 8th grade also will be reading to the primary students tomorrow. Tomorrow we also are having our April Student of the Month in Phoenix Award Assembly. On Monday, May 18th, 8th grade students will be visiting the Holocaust and Human Rights Center and the University of Maine at Augusta. On May 19th, we have incoming 6th grade parent and student information night. On May 27th, as I just asked permission for 8th grade to be headed to the Boston Museum of Science. On June 2nd and 3rd, our 7th graders will be participating in the Challenger Space Mission in the Coal Transportation Museum up in Bangor. And on June 9th, our 6th graders will be headed to the York Wildlife Animal Kingdom. Our field day will be June 11th. 8th grade promotion is June 12th. And our step-up day is the last day of school on June 15th. During this month of May, we have our main 3-year assessment and our STAR assessments that we're completing. And right now, our 8th grade students are currently taking the Atom Science assessment. We've had 47 out-of-school suspensions so far this year and 26 in school. And last year at this time, we had 59 out of school and 35 in school.
Questions for Chris? Thank you,
Thank you.
Chris. Pat won't be here tonight. Sherry Parker.
Good evening. In special education, we currently have 330 students. This is 15 fewer than my April report. This does include 13 open referrals, which is 7 fewer than my previous report. At the primary school, we currently have 7 students with IEPs. The elementary school has 84, the middle school has 73, and the high school has 103. We have 14 students at out-of-district special purpose schools for day treatment programming, 3 at the primary level, 3 at the elementary, 4 at the middle school, and 4 at the high school. This is continues to be the same as my previous report. The primary school special education teachers, kindergarten teachers, and I began our transitional IEP meetings for the students coming in from child development services who will be entering kindergarten in the fall. We currently have 15 students with active IEPs who will be entering kindergarten and 7 that are in the referral process through child development services. In accordance with special education law, RSU73 will become responsible for these individual education plans beginning August 27th, 2026, when these students enter kindergarten. Through holding these transition meetings, as well as the 2 kindergarten registration days at the primary school, where they do the kindergarten screenings for all incoming K students, it's very evident that we have a population of kindergarten students who've not been involved with preschool programs, daycares, or play groups. And that school readiness is no longer about numbers, letters, colors, and shapes, but it's also about learning how to play and interact with other children. These concerns go beyond my previous concerns about students with disabilities not receiving IEP services through CDS. Darcy and I did sit with the kindergarten teachers to brainstorm the best approach to address these needs within the learning environment, and this collaboration will likely need to continue through the beginning of the school year. On August 27th, we'll also acquire the special education service responsibility for students age 4 within J. Livermore and Livermore Falls. This includes child find responsibility for evaluation for children age 4 who have a suspected area of disability, as well as services determined by the IEP team to be disability related. We receive monthly child count updates from the Department of Education, and at this time we know there are 7 active IEPs and 6 children in the evaluation process. These services do not have to be provided within our public pre-K classrooms, but our district will be responsible to provide the services required by each student's IEP. We will have a better idea of where we need to deliver these special education service and related services after our pre-K registration days at the primary school.
questions for Sherry? Tammy?
I don't know if I heard this right. So are you saying there's like 13 that may, 4-year-olds? 13?
So there are 7 definite that will have special education services, and then the other 6 are currently being evaluated by Child Development Services. And we have to provide the services in J, Livermore, or Livermore Falls. But if they're attending Head Start instead of our public pre-K, then we have to go to Head Start and provide those services.
So we don't have a Head Start here now?
At the bottom of the hill, there's a head, we would go there to that Head Start.
Okay, thanks.
Any other questions? Thank you, Sherry. So I'm going to do things a little different. I want to welcome all the new board members, and I would like to start with Dawn Emery and go around the table and everybody introduce themselves and tell us a little bit about yourself. Please, Kathy, I see you scowling at me.
I knew there was a reason I voted against you. Don Emery from Livermore Falls. Been on the board for 3 years. I'm a veteran. I like to cook, and I'm happy to be here.
Kathy Bryant from Livermore Falls. From Livermore Falls, I have 2 kids in Spruce Mountain, and that's why I'm here.
Hello, I'm Matt Vernick. I've lived in GA for almost 50 years, my entire life. I own my dad's place. My wife and I have grown quite a business in this area. And I really want to put 100% in giving back to the schools and the community, and that is my pledge.
I'm Avery Ryder. I'm clearly morbidly sick, so I'm sorry. But I am a sophomore at USM now, and I'm going for criminology and law.
I'm Tammy Ferrari. I live in Livermore Falls. I grew up in Jay. I went to school here a long time ago. I have 2 children and 6 grandchildren, and they keep me pretty busy.
Holly Morris. I've been on the board for 4 years. I have 2 more years in my term. I'd like to make the board, like I said earlier, just more approachable and be more inclusive with everybody. And I live in Livermore. I've lived other places, but I came back to Livermore a few years ago. And I live basically where I grew up.
That's fair. I'm Tamara Hoke. I also grew up and went to this school a few years ago. Matt and I were in the same class. I'm the library director at J. Niles, and I love, obviously, reading. I know that's kind of a given. And hiking and spending time with our kids.
Sarah Jameson. I live in Livermore. This is my 2nd year on the board. I moved away for a number of years, but moved back to Livermore, where I grew up. I have a 5th grader, soon to be 6th grader, and I'm pro-science because I work for the Weather Service, so don't blame me for the chilly, soggy weather. But you can thank me for this weekend because it's going to be delightful. But it's going to be 90 on Tuesday, Chris, so I'm not sure about that middle school thing.
My name is Tanya DeMillo, and I was born and raised in Jay, never left, moved 7 miles from my birth home. I have 3 children and 7 grandkids that keep us very busy.
I'm Dawn Strout. I grew up in Livermore Falls. Now I currently live in North J. I have 7 grandchildren. 5 of them go to the school system, so that's why I'm here.
My name is Andrew Sylvester. I'm kind of the new kid on the block because I've only lived here about 30 years. I grew up on the coast. I got on the board about 8 years ago because I have half a dozen friends who thought it'd be a good idea for me to be here and wrote my name in. But I've served since and I've grown to love the role, and I want to continue to do it. I'm retired from the mill at Rumford, and I work part-time now, a couple of days a week at Motor Supply just to keep myself active in the community. I've got 2 grandchildren, 2 years, and 1 4 months. Will be in the system here shortly, and I hope to leave a good system for them.
My name's Mason. I've been a representative this last school year on the board. I'm a senior here at the high school. Next year will be attending UMO for business, and I just wanted to join the board to understand what the board does and try to make Jay Livermore and Livermore Falls better for the future that is coming, and that I want to come to these 3 towns.
Thank you, everybody. And thank you, Mason, for keeping us straight with the Roberts rules. We're going to miss you next school year. So we will have committee assignments for the new board. We'll be emailing out a list of the different committees, and you can choose what committees you would like to be on, and we'll figure that all out and let everybody know what committees everybody's on. And
I'll send that to you in your email, Ms. Director.
thank you. So we'll work on that. We don't have a policy meeting scheduled now, do we? That's true. Okay, so we'll be working on that. So, are we doing budget stuff now?
Okay, the district budget referendum results. The total number of votes cast in the municipalities within Region School Unit 73 in the affirmative and in the negative on Articles 1 and 2 of the warrant and notice of election of the Regional School Unit Budget Referendum held April 28, 2026, relating to the adoption of the Regional School Unit's 2026-27 budget are as follows. For Article 1, that was the school budget. The town of Jay, 465 affirmative, 207 negative, 13 blanks. The town of Livermore, 152 affirmative, 146 negative, 2 blanks. The town of Livermore Falls, 146 affirmative, 111 negative, 464 negative, and 20 blanks. Article 2, which was the boiler project. The town of Jay, affirmative 510, negative 159, blank 16. Town of Livermore, affirmative 135, negative 160, blank 5. Town of Livermore Falls, 179 affirmative, 79 negative, and 4 blanks, for total votes of 824 affirmative, 398 negative, and 25 blanks. So both passed.
So, school board declaration of votes, is that what you just did? So you did all that?
This is something that someone's going to have to
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna say it first. All right, I'm sorry, just as mentioned. You'd have to read the, or just be it voted? Okay. Be it voted that the computation and declaration of votes dated April 28th, 2026, and attached here to be approved, that the computation and declaration of votes be entered upon the records of Regional School Unit number 73
that a certified copy of the computation and declaration of votes be sent to each of the municipal clerks within the regional school unit, and that the foregoing computation and declaration shall be signed by a majority of the school board, and that these signatures may be made electronically by execution of counterparts or in person at the convenience of the members of the school board.
The second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
And this will be one of the things you guys will be signing before you leave tonight. Board members, remember that, don't leave before you sign. The warrant, we'll have Sarah read this one. Just a motion. Second paragraph, first paragraph says motion.
Motion, I move that the warrant for assessment of tax and the assessment schedule and notice of installments of tax for each member municipality prepared by the treasurer for fiscal year period 2026 to 2027 be approved and be issued in form presented to this meeting, and that the treasurer be authorized and directed to deliver to each member municipality its warrant for assessment of tax and its assessment schedule and notice of installments of tax.
Second.
Seconded by Dawn. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. What's that?
Nobody opposed.
Nobody opposed? Anybody opposed? Nope. Unanimous. So now we're gonna, we need to vote to go into executive session. Can someone make a motion? So moved.
Second.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Are we doing it here?
Mrs. Graham. Shop.
we're going to vote, I'm going to ask for a motion that we accept the contract renewal for all the people in section 17, 17-1 through 17-9. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Unanimous. I'd like to say that we're going to take a 5-minute break, and we'll be back in 5 minutes.
So do I pass this?
Okay.
We're back in session at 7:34. And I need a motion to go back into executive session.
So moved.
All those in favor?
Aye. So moved.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Abstentions? Aye.
I already had some written down.
Thank you. You're so on it. Any motion to accept the second year probationary contract of the people on age 17-12 through 17-24?
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. I need to have a motion to accept the continuing contract. 17-24 through 17-35.
So moved.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Unanimous. Okay, we have, everybody has their co-curricular hires, so new hires, transfers, resignations, and retirements. Calendar announcements. May 25th is Memorial Day holiday. May 28th, regular school board meeting here at the high school with the finance committee at 5:30. June 11th, regular board meeting here at the high school. June 25th, regular board meeting here at the high school with the finance committee at 5:30. I do have a couple of community events going on this weekend I'd like to mention. We're having a benefit for Ken Lyman. He's battling cancer. That's going to be at the Livermore Community Center on Saturday from 11 to 3. And a lot of us are involved in that. Don Emery's the cook for the port. And then St. Rose is having a, hold on a second. They're having a pizza thing Saturday evening for for elementary kids, I think, but I can't get into my phone right now. So anyway, I guess I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.